Arguably the most surprising result of the night was the Thunder getting their first win of the season as they knocked off the Clippers 108-94. Oklahoma City used a 21-0 run in the third quarter to put the game away, and the SGA, he stuffed the stat sheet. 33 points, 8 dimes, 3 steals, 3 blocks. 3 key rotation players, they missed Tuesday's game for the Clippers. Kawhi Leonard, after experiencing stiffness in his right knee. Paul George was out due to a non-COVID illness, and Marcus Morris missed the game due to personal reasons. So now welcoming in ESPN Clippers reporter Om Young-Masuk. The Clippers, they are still in Oklahoma as they play the Thunder again tomorrow, but where's Kawhi?
Malika, Kawhi flew back to Los Angeles. He experienced stiffness in his surgically repaired right knee where he tore his ACL back on June 14th, 2021. And so Ty Lue is saying this is not a concern. They're just being smart about it. Kawhi can be mad at them all he wants because he wanted to play, but they decided to send him home so he could seek treatment there in their own facility with full resources. I asked Ty Lue, though, is he going to have that knee examined? Is he going to get an MRI? He said, no, this is just a thing where they're sending him back to get treatment and just be smart about it. But, of course, anytime you send your star player back home when you got 2 games on a road trip, to me, that's a little bit of a concern, especially when you've had Kawhi Leonard coming off such a long layoff. He didn't play all of last season.
Yeah, I think that's what's raising antennas. It's not so much that Kawhi Leonard sat out. It's that he didn't sit out in Oklahoma City. It's that he returned back to L.A. Om Young-Masuk, thank you so much for spending some time with us here on NBA Today. I want to bring Chiney, Tim Legler, Kendrick Perkins back into this conversation. And Perk, I want to start with you here. How worried should the Clippers be if this is a lingering issue for Kawhi throughout the season?
Well, they should be very worried, but let me ask you this. Why is Kawhi Leonard not available? Okay, I tore my ACL in 2010, and I was back in 6 months, and I was a guy that was 300-plus pounds playing, and I got back in 6 months, and I played back-to-backs, and I played every game after that. Here's the thing that I'm worried about, right? The Clippers have so much depth that sooner or later Ty Lue is going to have to simmer down his rotations, right? So right now they're pretty much all over the place, and you have to be able to develop chemistry. And chemistry don't start in the middle of the season. You actually want to start from the jump, especially when you have a lot of new faces. And on top of that, you have the play-in tournament this season, right? I mean, that has been added. So with the play-in tournament being added, you don't even want to take no games for granted, because remember, it could be those 1 or 2 losses that could stop you from getting into the postseason. Now you got to go and battle to get into the play-in tournament. I have the Clippers as my favorite. I'm sticking with that to win the NBA championship, but this is getting out of control when it comes down to Kawhi Leonard. He was out the entire season to get this ACL injury right. That's more than enough time. You're going to experience stiffness in your knee when you come back from that type of injury. I did. You have to battle through it.
I agree, Perk. When you have knee situations, which I had right knee microfracture surgery. I actually tore my left Achilles too, so I understand what this experience is. Yeah, you have to battle through it to feel more comfortable, but at the same time, everybody is different. And, you know, we're speaking from the vantage point of being post players, you know, going out, and all we have to do is get the ball in the low block, drop step, or maybe make one explosive move, typically from the free throw line. When you're a perimeter player, your body responds much differently, and that's exactly where he needs his dynamic nature. I would say this is really tough to see happen so early with Kawhi, because you don't want to set back, especially going into the start of the season. You need him to play through these types of things. So I see more of alarms from them needing to do this at this point. I think it's now going to be really the game of how are you going to manage this situation? Are you going to play through it in the long term, or are you going to just save him for the moments that matter most? That's the question that the Clippers really have to deal with. But they do have enough depth, enough rotation players that they should be competitive. I mean, it's not normal that Paul George and Marcus, Morris is out. They can compete with their core still available.
Well, let me start, first of all, by saying I also have a matching set of ACL reconstruction. So
I'm the only one with 2.
Yeah, we got to we got to maybe get you up and down, get some verticality going, and see what happens.
You guys can borrow him if you need him.
This is the comeback crew today.
You got 5 ACLs out of 6 between the 3.
My ACLs are good. Let me let the record reflect. My ACLs are good. It was just
Mine feel much better now, too, but it's been a while. But here's the thing. First of all, I'm sick over this because there's no player in the league was I looking forward to watching this year as much as Kawhi Leonard, because of how much we have missed watching him play, the unique nature of his game. this is a bad sign. And I know they're being overly cautious, and they're going to always err on the side of caution, particularly nowadays. They take it out of the player's hands most of the time. People get upset with the players sometimes. Like, they expect him to want to get into a fist fight with somebody and demand they play. It just doesn't work that way in the league. They take this out of their hands and off the plate. So now they're going to give him some rest. What I'm concerned about is, has this been that long a period of time with such little action that he's just never going to get his body to the point that it feels great? And what do the Clippers miss when he's not there? You're talking about a guy that controls the middle area of the floor, and you win championships with players like that because of how difficult it is to double-team players that can get their own shot from 12 to 20 feet. And he's as good as there is, not only in the NBA, maybe that's ever played in the NBA. That's what the Clippers lack. The roster's good enough to contend or to get to the finals or win a championship.
Right.
I didn't pick them specifically because of stuff like this. I said it's too big of a leap to take to think that now we're just going to get a bunch of health out of their star players.
Right.
That's why I think Golden State is going to repeat. But there's no doubt the roster is good enough. But without Kawhi Leonard, you're going to have to get other guys really step up right now. And there's some guys struggling offensively here early.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.